I'm joined by Jesse James Leyva, who has 20 years in the personal fitness training industry. He has a gym called Outlaw Fit Camp over in Flower Mound, Texas. And for the past 7 years, it has been heralded as the best weight loss and personal fitness training facility. And I want to tell you that it has also been rated as Denton County's best personal training facility. So when we talk about this shutdown, lockdown, I'm starting to call it an illegal martial law and the effects it's having on small business owners, I couldn't think of anyone better to have in, because for some odd reason, we have elected officials that are telling Mr. Leyva that he's not essential. So Jesse James, talk to us about your business. How long have you been there in Flower Mound, and what impacts have you seen because of this decision of elected officials here in Texas?
Man, first of all, I'd like to say thank you and for having me on your show, and it's an honor. So I really appreciate you giving me the time to speak about this and kind of spread this awareness. So thank you for, again, what you're doing and for sharing this time for me. I've been in the Flower Mound area for about 13 years with my personal training studio. I've been in the business over 20 years. And, we're not really a box gym like the big, massive gyms. We're a private training studio. I have 6 of them throughout DFW franchises. And the one in Flower Mound is actually called Jesse James Fitness. And that's my standalone. And it has an outlaw gym, a fit camp inside of it, like a group fitness. Anyways, the elected officials, I've been kind of torn on this. And the whole essential, non-essential really blew my mind. And I think I really was disturbed with the whole concept behind this when I actually didn't see any scientific medical data showing why my business would be considered essential. And what drew me to that conclusion was the fact that you can buy liquor, we can go through fast food restaurants, and we as Americans, somebody made a decision to keep people getting unhealthy, focusing on things that keep them, their immune system down, suppressed. Alcohol doesn't help, neither does fattening foods, but we shut down and took away the rights of free citizens to take care of themselves, to make that intellectual decision that, hey, I'm gonna go work out, still take care of myself. But if I wanna go to Lowe's, I can still go to Lowe's or Walmart. We still have that right, but somebody took away the right to go to a place that you take care of yourself, to keep yourself healthy. It kind of blew my mind, and it's, it feels like I'm being discriminated against. I mean, that's the only thing you can think of. I'm half Native American, and I feel like it's back in the 40s, and I can't go to a certain water fountain because I'm not good enough. That's what you're telling my business, and it's actually killing my business. I've had 2 friends lose their businesses in the last 2 months because of this, and it's disheartening. It's disgusting. It makes my stomach hurt. And
well, let's talk about what is your clientele base, and then also how many employees do you have as part of your fitness centers?
Sure thing. I have my employee base is, I would say, 45 and up. And our oldest is maybe, I think, 85, 87. I think we even had a 93-year-old at one time, and then as young as 7 years old. We focus on human body performance, just making people actively feel better, move better, and live longer. So we train a whole multitude of demographic of clientele. And we have 21 employees here. Between my locations, I think I have 12 at my Flower Mound location. We did something that fitness studios don't do. Usually there's 1099 employees, but we actually fully employ them. They have healthcare benefits, health insurance, and right before we had to close down, we just offered a 401k as well. But I have single moms. I have a disabled trainer. I have a young man that just had a preemie right now. Him and his fiance had a baby, and the baby's still in the hospital in the NICU ward. And this guy's 20 years old, and he makes great money and works for me. And I have all these people to worry about, and I lose sleep at night. And it's been the worst feeling I've ever had. You feel like your hands are tied behind your back, and you have a life raft right in front of you, and you're in the water, and you can't grab it. And somebody keeps pulling it away. That's been our leadership. It's every 2 weeks. Hey, another 2 weeks. I put up with that for about 4 weeks, and then it was 6 weeks. Now, the 18th will be 8 weeks. We've been closed, and I'm slowly speaking.
Now, are you looking at maybe making the decision yourself to say, hey, look, I can't continue on this way. I could lose my business. Have you ever thought about just going ahead and saying to your clients, hey, we're going to be back open and understand the risks, but here's how we're going to mitigate those risks?
We've been shut down this whole time, and in my eyes, failure is not an option. We're gonna keep pushing through, and if they extend this again into the mid-June, I don't know if there's gonna be a way. We were fortunate enough, I applied and worked really diligently to get the PPP funding. And that, in essence, if anybody knows business and knows about the PPP, it's 2.5 months worth of your payroll. You can use up to 25% for utilities and your rent. So it's really designed for being closed for about 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're closed for 2 months, that money runs dry pretty quick, and nobody's covering our rent. My Flower Mound location isn't budging on rent. My 2 other ones gave me April off, but this is my biggest one. So those are kind of some of the things that these business owners are dealing with. They didn't get funding, or if they got the funding, it's not really set up to last 2 months. You know?
Now, one of the things that we know with COVID-19 is that it has like a 99.6% recovery rate. And we also know that the demographic that it really does target the worst, the most vulnerable, and those are the people above the age of 65, individuals that are obese and therefore have type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hypertension issues, and other underlying medical conditions. So to me, as you stated early on, it is absolutely ludicrous, and I can't make the sense of why would you say that a place that is allowing people to go out and work and to be healthy should be shut down and closed, but yet, you know, we look at the example in Michigan where the marijuana store is open, and then, like you say, the fast food. So if you had the opportunity to sit down with Governor Abbott, make your case as to why you should be open.
Yes, I would have said, you know, when it comes to the private industry of fitness studios, and that's the, you know, my company, any private studios, probably with 15 employees or less per location, you know, 35 to maybe 6,000 square feet. I would say, here's the qualifications. Here's what we're wanting you to do to provide sanitation protocols to keep customers safe. And if you can actively do this, you can stay open. Large gyms, I completely understand. And I'm a gym rat for 25 years. But I wouldn't want to go to an LA Fitness or a large gym right now because I don't know what guy and what his sanitary protocols were. Did he spray things down, and how clean is it? My studios and these private studios like yoga studios, Pilates, and my personal training studios, you can only come in with your trainer. So we have trainers, and you can't come into my studio and openly work out. It's not a gym. It's a private facility, which means you're spending good money. You care about your health and wellness. So sanitation is important to you, and same with my trainers. So I would ask him, why didn't we give this private sector, these small businesses, fitness centers, a chance to show that they can do good? Because we do change lives. We help people ward off medications, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol, a number of things, as well as depression and anxiety. I have a list of clients that are interested to get back in here because they've dealt with alcohol and everything else, and they gave it up and found their thing, their why, and it was fitness. And it was taken away, and they didn't have a choice. So, you know, again, you can take your dog to get a haircut. You can go buy donuts. You can go buy alcohol and get, you know, overweight and drunk. But you can't do anything to keep your body healthy to ward off this disease.
Well, without a doubt, that's counterintuitive. And I think that is what is so perplexing for many Americans. And again, you brought up another point. You are a private business owner. What right do you think, or do not think, that elected officials have to just be able to say on, you know, an instantaneous whim, you're shut down, and not give you any recourse whatsoever?
Man, you'd have to bleep me out for the way I feel about the decisions made for business owners and private citizens. I mean, you can see I have an American flag tattooed on my right arm. Mm-hmm. I love my country. I love my military. I love my police and my first responders. We bust our butts to take care of people. I'm just perplexed that they made a decision like this. And again, when Governor Abbott was just on TV recently last week, when they announced that they're opening malls and museums and movie theaters, I don't know where that thought came from. I don't know who he's working with, and I'm not trying to bash our local government, but I want to know how those decisions were made. Who did he talk to find out that, hey, opening a mall is far safer than opening up hair salons? And those people go through stringent training, you know, for sanitation. Same with barbers and personal trainers. So I just don't know who's helping make these decisions. I understand there's a lot of tax money to be made, so I understand the reasoning behind it. Service industry, there's no tax. So I understand retail and malls, but you're putting taxes and millions of dollars over the health of people. I wouldn't have made that choice to open malls up yet. And I know there's a lot of businesses there, but it makes no sense to me.
And you said previously that you have some friends that have lost their small business. I
Yeah.
mean, to me, that is the essence of the American dream. When you talk about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, to be able to go out and have an idea, to have a dream, and bring that to fruition, to open up your own business, you know, how can you just be a voice for them right now that they're not on this platform right now? What would you say for them, those individuals? And we have 2 million Texans that are now unemployed because of this.
Yes. What I like to say, one, I like to say people that are there's a lot of people on the verge of losing their business. And when they lose their business, most business owners usually made at least close to 6 figures or more. So they had a great lifestyle. They chose to put their retirement, their investment into a business. They can't just go get a 6-figure job now to maintain their quality of life that they've had building that business up. Unemployment's, I mean, obviously 2 million people unemployed in Texas, so it's not easy to go get a new job. They've risked everything. They can lose their homes. You got depression. You got suicide. I would tell them to keep their heads up and to fight for your business, hand tooth and nail, and stand up for your rights. Don't be afraid. The other thing I'd like to mention that I don't think gets enough press or coverage, I would like to mention to people that aren't that are essential, and ask yourself if government officials, as of tomorrow, stated your job at Xerox, at Microsoft, is non-essential. You're losing your money. You have a job now. Your wife that's taking care of your kids, I'm sorry, you guys you can't go to work, and we're going to do this for about 2 months. How would that feel? I just want people to put that in perspective and put themselves in somebody else's shoes, because when it's taken away from you, that's when the hurt hits. People feel safe behind that wall until it gets chipped away. And I want people just to think of these single moms that are hairdressers, taking care of their kids, and that sole income's gone, and they don't have that money. They can't get unemployment because they probably didn't claim most of their money because they were smart and wrote off most of their money. So unemployment's not going to pay them enough, and they can't get the PPP. So there's a lot of people really hurting. I want people just to think about that when they're safe at their home with their job and then they work from home. Think about all those millions of people that don't have that and that have lost everything or are the brink of. My name's on 3 locations, a ton of equipment. I got about $700,000 in leases between commercial properties and equipment in my name, and 21 employees that I love dearly. If I lose that, I'm not buying a house anytime soon. I'm screwed. Excuse my language, but I'm out of commission. There's no rebounding from losing that much, and that's what I have to just ask people, is just put yourself in people's shoes and think about it. If things were taken away from you and you had no say-so in that, what would you do and how fair would that be?
Now, the interesting thing is because, you have those people that are saying, but this is all about the public good, and this is the type of sacrifice that has to be made. And you are seeing, Americans that are actually going out and telling on other Americans, snitching on Americans, saying that everyone needs to stay locked in. What do you say to these people who have bought into this fear, this panic, and this paranoia?
It happened actually in my town of Flower Mound here. I had a group of trainers last week. They got wind that I was opening, and I opened properly. Now, I announced I was opening, but it went on social media. This guy's opening, a local trainer. He's out. He's just in for the money. He doesn't care about the customers. We're going to open the right way. And it blew my mind because these are people in my industry, and I've been on a couple news networks so far, and I'm talking about our industry. And I'm blown away by how fast people are to attack people. I actually went through my city with my attorney and the city attorney and the city manager, and we opened a retail. We're not training anybody, and we did it right to get our customers back in. I would say, man, these people need to stand up for each other, help each other. And the people that are calling people out, it blows my mind. I would ask them, because I've had people say that, well, aren't you selfish? You're opening your place up and you're putting people at risk. Well, last time I went to Lowe's, which was yesterday, nobody took a thermometer to my forehead, digital thermometer to my forehead. There was one sanitation station. People are grabbing stuff and putting it on shelves all over the place. I didn't see anybody sanitizing and spraying the shelves down. And I went up front. They have a little plexiglass screen. I bought my stuff, said hi to her, and I left. That's it. So sanitation protocols, there's stickers on the ground saying 6 feet apart. Who's monitoring that? I didn't see anybody clicking to see if they're at 25% within that 25% range of their capacity. Who's monitoring the malls? I'm wondering. Who's counting that 25%? So I would ask them, where's your logic coming from? Because I know us, we have 9 sanitation stations in my studio. We have gloves, we have masks. All my trainers are trained on it, and I have a guy coming out once a week to spray my whole studio down. So I'd ask them, hey, where's your logic at? Where are you getting your facts from?
You know, my last question I want to put to you, I think, is an important one. Do you think that we have been softened up so that this could happen once again? Or do you think that small business owners will not be so acquiescing and not be so accommodating to have their businesses, selectively shut down?
I think we have been kind of softened up over the last probably 10 years. People are softer in general and on thin ice all the time, tiptoeing around stuff. People don't stand their grounds. People don't stand up for their rights. I was talked down off a ledge because I was aggressively going to open no matter what and be defiant. But I fortunately have a very good relationship with the city and the town manager and the mayor, and I respect them, and I want to work with my local government. But I'm not going to stand for losing everything I have. And what do you fall back on? So I don't know what to say other than people need to stand up for those rights, and they need to push hard. And you can't we have been softened up. And I would say after this, I think people are going to get hardened up, and we're going to stand up for our rights. It's not the same as it was 20, 30 years ago when people would just be aggressively march for what they believed in. Things are a little different now, and we're seeing it now. People cower down, they attack. And the hairdresser, Shelly out in Dallas, my wife and I went out there to support her, and there was only about 7 or 8 hairdressers out there. And it blew my mind that this woman standing her ground for her people, and she hardly had anybody there. And that made me sad. It made me disgusted. And then I had the same thing just, Friday last week, being attacked in my community. And I've been here a long time. I love my community. Being attacked by fellow trainers and people, that own studios. And I don't retaliate. I do my thing. But it blows my mind that people don't stand behind one another. They're quickly to push you down when you're trying to come up for air,
Yeah. Well, my mom used to tell me that's the crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yes.
Everyone wants that crab that's trying to get out of the barrel. They jump on his back and pull him back down.
Pull him back down.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully we can be united in liberty. That, I think, is the most essential thing in these United States of America. And we have to make sure that we don't sacrifice that essential liberty for this temporary safety, because, as Benjamin Franklin said, we will deserve neither liberty nor safety. How can people follow you, and tell them a little bit about your locations there throughout North Texas?
Sure thing. Jesse James Fitness is my standalone location. It's in Flower Mound. It's about 7,700 square feet, private training and also indoor group training. We've changed a lot of our protocols from COVID. I've actually restructured a lot of stuff in my studio to be safer. But it's a beautiful facility. Everything's sanitary, clean, beautiful setup. My other company is Outlaw Fit Camp Franchise. We have a franchise company. We got 6 locations in the DFW area. Hopefully one opening in Fort Worth if we can ever get past some of this. But those are indoor, group fitness and personal training studios. And again, there's a beautiful setup of mixed diversity of clientele from 8 to 75, 80 years old. We can handle any client. And just something a little different than the large box gyms. Sanitary protocols are high. You can find us on Facebook, Jesse James Fit, Outlaw Fit Camp. And you can hit us up on online as well, jessejamesfit.com and outlawfitcampfranchise.com and outlawfitcamp.com. So, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to invite me on your show and talk about this, man. It's an honor. So thank you.
No, it's all mine, because for 22 years in uniform, I stood on freedom's rampart so you could enjoy the American dream. And I hate to see the American dream being decimated for so many people, especially right here in Texas. So, it is my pleasure to be able to have you and to share thoughts. And, you'll see this old paratrooper over there. Don't make me do too many push-ups. I don't know if I can hang anymore.
And I would love to have you here. I'd love to chat with you, man. Anytime. It'd be my honor, man. Thank you for your service, too. Man, incredible.
That's what we'll do. Thanks so much, Jesse James Leyva, for being with us. Jesse James Fitness, personal trainer, and also Outlaw Fit Camp. God be with you.
God be with you, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.